the first thing that we'll talk about is what the Biden administration's FDA just did. They basically just unilaterally declared that they're going to force Juul, which is one of the most popular vaping and e-cigarette companies, entirely off the US market. They're just like, actually, this one company, you're purged now. Bye-bye. You can't sell products here. You're canceled by the federal government, which is just such a crony capitalism red flag. I mean, they say this is about combating teen vaping or juuling, but Juul stopped doing the kind of advertising things years ago that they said were advertising to kids. They also bent over backwards to comply to the Biden administration and provide them with all this data and reports, and they still screwed them. And it's just so dumb because it's like, this could have, there's no possible benefits from this, basically, because they're only banning one major company with one popular product. There's still going to be other vaping and e-cigarette products, first of all, that people could switch to. But then, to the extent that Juul is banned, and therefore people who really like Juul products or use them go back to smoking traditional cigarettes, I mean, more people will die. I mean, vaping is not great for your health, let's be clear. But the public health system in England has estimated it's 90% healthier than traditional cigarette smoking because it doesn't have, people have to understand, this is an important distinction. Nicotine does not cause cancer. What causes cancer in cigarettes is the tar and the chemicals and the carcinogens that are in the cigarette around, not just the nicotine. So if you have nicotine in other forms, it does not cause lung cancer. It can have other health issues from vaping, but the one that kills so many people, the cancer, is not a threat from it. So you're actually potentially, with this public health nanny state, at best, it accomplishes nothing because people will switch to other products. And at worst, it will result in additional deaths when people just make a switch back to the cigarettes they were smoking before.
Yeah, I think this is really vastly stupid. I have a grandfather who died from smoking cigarettes, and he died before vaping really became an option. But I've seen a lot of people that have been able to give up that habit thanks to these techniques and innovations, and this is just vastly ignorant and ridiculous. And I find it, just not even, I want to say laughable, but there's nothing funny about it. But this guy came into office promising to try to address criminal justice reform, to try to scale back things like the war on drugs that have led to so many issues, so many bad repercussions, not only, as far as mass incarceration goes, but as a public health issue too. It's led to a lack of people getting treatment, lack of people being able to study these medicines and see how they might be better applied in an actual pharmaceutical setting. On and on it goes. And so when it comes to his actions against vaping, it's just a point in case of him going the opposite direction, right? Of criminalizing more products. So that's going to push more people into jail, but also it's going to lead to some of the same issues that we see around the war on drugs, which instead of trying to treat the underlying issue, which is the public health components of it, we're instead just banning the product or criminalizing the product, and that makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. And I think you're right. I think this will lead to more people picking back up cigarettes, not even just because it's banned, because if things are harder to find, it's just an easy access supply demand question. If they can't find vaping tools, they can't find these products, then they're going to turn back to what's easily accessible, which are cigarettes. And so I do think it will lead to more people being killed. And I also think that we need to trace this money back to the cigarette lobby, because I assume they've had some part in this, because why else all of a sudden are we going in this direction when cigarettes aren't banned? That's what actually just blows my mind here. If you're going to ban something, wouldn't it be cigarettes? It makes no sense.
Yeah, except that they have massive lobbying arms. Mm-hmm. And to be clear, the vaping sector also has lobbying and some resources, but it's going up against a long time established lobbying force in big tobacco. So I think Juul is paying the price for that. It's unfortunate. It's really unfair to this company. And it's not going to accomplish anything good or productive.